السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله ومن الله عبادي الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ومن أحسن قولا ممن دعا إلى الله وعمل صالحا وقال إنني من المسلمين صدق الله العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم. All praise is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the tawfiq and the ability to come to the masjid so that we can listen and benefit from deen and knowledge. Previously we had done with regards to Imam Malik rahmatullah alayhi. Now we have Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayhi and Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal rahmatullah alayhi left. Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayhi, he was known as Nasirul Hadith, aid and protector and defender of Ahadith. Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayhi, his name was Muhammad ibn Idris. He was born in the year 150 AH, which was the year that Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah alayhi passed away, in the town of Gaza. And according to some reports, he was born in the town Asqalan, which is in Palestine. Amongst his forefathers was Shafa' radiallahu anhu, a Sahabi, who, although he was a flag bearer of the Quraysh tribe, but he only became Muslim at the time after the Battle of Badr. But then, nevertheless, he was from the progeny of Sahaba radiallahu anhum. According to Umar radiallahu anhu, Shafa''s physical appearance closely resembled that of our beloved Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So this Sahabi, Shafa' radiallahu anhu, the Umar radiallahu anhu used to say his appearance resembles that like Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He used to look a bit like Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. This was the forefather, the grandfather of Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayhi. His father Idris died around the time of Imam Shafi's birth. It was therefore his mother Fatima bint Abdullah who migrated to Makkah with her 2-year-old son during her pregnancy. He was only 2 years old then, and his father had died. She had observed the dream wherein a star emerged from her stomach, landed in Egypt, and illuminated every town of that country. Despite poverty, Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayhi spent his youth in 2 activities. One, acquiring dini ilm, and the second, archery. So he spent his youth in 2 things: acquiring ilm, knowledge, deen, and the second, archery. Archery is also a sunnat of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He also done archery, rode a horse. If we ever get the chance, we should also try and doing it with the niyyah of fulfilling the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. In both of these activities he excelled. The best part of day and night was involved in learning and studying, whilst during his free time he had mastered horse riding and could strike bull's eye with 10 out of 10 arrows. The target, how good he was at archery, that if he had 10 arrows, he would shoot all of them 10 on target, straight on target. He was so good at it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had created enthusiasm in this young boy to protect his deen of Islam. The young Imam would often plead to his mother, "O respected mother, grant me the permission to travel Makkah to acquire ilm." His mother would start crying because obviously he was her only son, small child. His father passed away when he was 2 years old. Whereupon Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayhi often concluded, because father is not here, my mother probably does not wish to be left all alone in old age. One day he said, "Dear mother, if you continue to cry like this, how will your son ever be able to come out of the depths of ignorance and acquire ilm, knowledge? How do you want your son to get dini ilm and knowledge? For dini ilm and knowledge is not like nowadays. We've got so many madrasas and we've got so many books and kitabs and ulama and shuyukh that we go to. Those days they had to travel, even for one hadith, and that they had to travel large distances and, hard, tough journeys. They didn't have planes and all that and fast cars like how we have. So he said, grant me permission to leave for a short while, please. So his mother replied, darling, whenever you mention talabul ilm, seeking knowledge, tears appear in my eyes, not because of the worry of being left alone when you have gone, but because I do not have the money to finance your journey. What his mom said, मैं इसी वजह से नहीं रोती हूँ कि मैं अकेली रह जाऊंगी जब आप पढ़ने के लिए चले जाएंगे. इसी वजह से मैं रोती हूँ कि जो पैसे चाहिए आपके सफ़र के लिए वो मेरे पास नहीं है. So imagine, this is why she was crying, that I don't have that money to send you to go and learn deen, just to go and, for traveling. So Imam Shafi said, dear mother, do not worry about money for the journey, for this is Allah's responsibility. Look at his iman at that time. Young boy, but he's saying to his mother, don't worry about money. This is Allah Ta'ala's responsibility. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala nurtures and looks after a person. Don't look at your pocket. You bid farewell to me and make dua for me. He's telling his mother, let me go, send me away and make dua for me. With his mother's blessings, he approached the Amir of Mecca and requested a reference to take to Medina. Arriving in Medina, he proceeded to the valley of Atiq and awaited upon the door of Imam Malik rahmatullah alayh. So when we reached Medina, he went to the door of Imam Malik rahmatullah alayh. We done previously 2 weeks ago, we done with regards to the life of Imam Malik rahmatullah alayh. When finally he emerged, the young Shafi'i rahimahullah, 13 years of age, pleaded, I am a student of deen and these are my circumstances. He's 13 years old and he's telling Imam Malik rahmatullah alayh. He's traveled on his own from Mecca to Medina. And he's saying, upon hearing of his plight, the Imam stared at him for a while, looked at him, and asked his name and then commented, Muhammad, his name was Muhammad, fear Allah and save yourselves from sins. So look at what is the first thing Imam Malik rahmatullah alayhi is telling him, that fear Allah. He's telling this young boy, 13-year-old. Nowadays we say, वो तो छोटा बच्चा है, अभी जब वो बड़े हो जाएगा फिर उसके बाद कोई बात नहीं, अभी तो छोटा है, रहने दो. But they used to nurture from when they were young, upbringing from small, तरबियत छोटे से, ताकि जब वो बड़े हो जाए वो छोटे से तरबियत नहीं करेंगे तो जब वो बड़े हो जाएंगे फिर मुश्किल. So he says, fear Allah and save yourselves from sins, because in the future you shall achieve great rank. Come tomorrow and bring somebody who is able to recite Mu'atta for you. Mu'atta was the kitab, the book of hadith which Imam Malik rahmatullah alayhi wrote. The young Shafi'i rahimahullah informed the Imam that he had memorized Mu'atta and now became a regular reciter of this kitab in the majlis of his mentor. So what did this young boy say? He said to the Imam, this kitab Mu'atta that you are talking about, I've already memorized the whole kitab by heart. 13 years old. So look, this was from within himself, that nobody had put him to learn the Mu'atta, the Ahadith kitab by heart, but himself by the age of 13 he had already memorized that book. How did it get that jazba inside him? It would only be the nurturing of the parents, the mother. That's why they say the mother is the first madrasa for the child. They say from the time when the woman is pregnant, when she conceiving, when she's got the child in the stomach, from that time already the effects fall on the child. So the actions which the mother will do while she is pregnant will fall on the child. If that woman is neck, salih, muttaqi, pious, involves herself in the tilawat of the Quran, azkar, all these things, dua, abstains from haram, then those good effects will fall on the child that will be to be born. But if the mother is vice versa, if while she's cooking, she's listening to music played in the kitchen, she's watching movies, TV, all these things, not abstaining from haram, then when this child will be born, this child will have the similar effects will be engraved in this child. That is why also when the child is born as well, let's say that the first thing what you do is you give the azan in the right ear, the qama in the left ear. Why? So these are the first words that go into the ears of this child, because it will have an effect on the heart of that child. Although the child doesn't understand anything, but what goes through the eyes, the ears, the mind, that affects the heart automatically. It goes into a person. Imam Malik, he often used to say, Malik is a shining star amongst the ulama. There is no more correct kitab on the surface of this earth than what if Imam Malik and Sufyan bin Uyayna were not present, the ilm would have vanished from Arabia. How great was this Imam Malik rahmatullah alayh. The knowledge, Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayh says, the knowledge which I have acquired from Imam Muhammad rahmatullah alayh. Who was Imam Muhammad rahmatullah alayh? We mentioned he was one of the students of Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah alayh. I have not received from elsewhere. I wrote down this ilm after approximately 10 years. When I departed from Imam Muhammad rahmatullah alayh, I looked at my manuscripts. They were large enough to fill a camel's back. That's how much he learned from Imam Muhammad rahmatullah alayh. If it was not for Imam Muhammad rahmatullah alayh, my knowledge and tongue would not be as ample. When I listen to his recitation of the glorious Quran, it appears as if the Quran descended from his tongue. Whenever I question any scholar except for Imam Muhammad rahmatullah alayh, signs of displeasure were visible upon their face. So this was the ustad of Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayh, Imam Muhammad rahmatullah alayh, who was a student of Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah alayh. That always been mentioning, that you can see the links between the four A'immah, how close they were and how they benefited from each other. Nevertheless, Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayh had many more asatiza, many more teachers, and his ilm, he spent his life in attaining this ilm and knowledge, and he had many students. Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayhi was extremely intelligent, understanding, and a wise person. Abu Ubaidah relates, we have not witnessed a more intelligent or more perfect human than Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayhi. Harun bin Said Ali comments, if Shafi'i was wished to prove these stone columns to be of timber, he would be able to do so. Such was his knowledge that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had granted him. He was a very pious person. One person relates that I've spent many nights in the company of Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayhi, who would spend half the night in nafil salah, reciting up to 100 ayah of the Quran. After every ayah, he would make dua for all the Muslims, and upon every ayah of punishment, he would seek Allah's protection. So this was his piety. Spend half the night in ibadah, standing in salah. He would recite at least 100 ayat of the Quran, and after every ayah, he would make dua for all Muslims. This is in his tahajjud salah, not any other five times farai salah, which we find difficult to read today. This is his tahajjud salah. And after every ayah with regards to the punishment, azab of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he would seek protection. And this is a quality of the pious predecessors, that did not only make, a quality of a mu'min should be, that he does not only make dua for himself, but he remembers the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his duas as well. And some of the kitabs which he wrote were Kitab al-Umm, Risalatah, Musnad al-Shafi'i. These are a few of the kitabs which he wrote. His death was in Egypt. Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayhi fell ill at home, at the home of his host, Abdullah bin Abdul Hakim, and died at the night of Jumma in Rajab, Sha'ban. Some say Rajab, some say in Sha'ban, 204 AH, 827 CE, at the age of 54 years. He was bathed and shrouded by his two sons, Abdul Hassan Muhammad and Uthman. The Emir of Egypt led the Janazah Salah, and the Imam is buried near Mount Muqattam. Rabi'i narrates, upon returning from his burial, we observed the new moon of Sha'ban. That night I observed the Imam in a dream and inquired, how did Allah Ta'ala treat you? The Imam replied, Allah Ta'ala granted and seated me upon a chair of Noor. This was the great personality of Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayhi. 10 minutes inshallah we'll do Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal rahmatullah alayhi. Also a great scholar. Imam Abu Abdullah Ahmad bin Hanbal rahmatullah alayhi was born in Rabiul Awwal 164 year after Hijri in Baghdad. He came from the Arabic clan of Shayban, who were renowned for their courage, patience, steadfastness and resolution. His grandfather Hanbal bin Hilal had migrated from Basra to Khurasan, where he was appointed a governor. The Imam's mother Safiya bint Maymuna bint Abdul Malik Shaybani rahimahullah migrated back from Marv to Baghdad. While she was pregnant, before the birth of Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal rahmatullah alayhi, his father Muhammad died shortly upon the family's arrival in Baghdad. So most of the Aimma, their condition was they had lost one parent before they were even born, or when they were born when they were little. With the great diligence, affection, care, discipline, foresight, and prudence did Safiya nurture her child. She arranged his ta'aleem at a local maktab, where his piety, promise, and talents were visible even at this tender age. Abu Afif rahimahullah, a contemporary, relates, Ahmad bin Hanbal was with us in the maktab. Despite being much younger than us, we senior students were acquainted with his piety. That what the bigger students used to say of the madrasa, that the big students used to look at this little small child, that how pious he was. From a very young age. During childhood, he became Hafiz of the glorious Quran and a leading scholar. If this youngster, it was prophesied, if this youngster lives, he will become a hujjat for the people of his era. After this maktab ta'aleem phase, at the young age of 16 years, the Imam commenced study of hadith under the tutorship of Qadi Abu Yusuf rahmatullah alayhi. Who was Imam Abu Yusuf rahmatullah alayhi? Another student of Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah alayhi, who was the ustad of Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal rahmatullah alayhi. He says, I learnt hadith firstly from Imam Abu Yusuf rahmatullah alayhi. Thereafter, for 4 years, he studied under the leading muhaddithin of Baghdad, such as Imam Hadith Hushaym ibn Bashir rahmatullah alayhi. His enthusiasm for ilm of hadith may be gauged from his desire to depart from home for lessons well before Fajr Salah. तो तहज्जुद के वक्त वो निकलते थे हदीस सीखने के लिए, small boy. Whereupon his mother would grab hold of his kurta and affectionately remonstrate, at least wait until the azan has been called and some light appears. His माँ क्या कहती थी, थोड़ी देर इंतजार कर, फजर का वक्त हो जाए और थोड़ी सी रोशनी हो जाए तब जाना. लेकिन ये बच्चा वो फजर से पहले निकल जाता था हदीस पढ़ने के लिए, याद करने के लिए. After benefiting from the scholars of Kufa, Basra, Medina, Yemen, and acquired ulum from the muhaddithin of these localities, Imam Ahmad ibn Ibrahim Durqi relates, he says, when the Imam arrived in Makkah, extreme fatigue was visible upon his body. He looked very tired. I asked, oh, Abu Abdullah, you have tolerated great hardships on this journey. He commented, these difficulties pale into naught against the ilmi and dini benefits that we derive from Abdul Razak rahimahullah. From him I have narrated a hadith related by Al-Zuhri al-Salam, who narrates, the end of the narration comes to Abi Hurairah radiyallahu anhu. At times, in these difficult journeys, he would acquire hadith. And he said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through his hardship and his striving for ahadith, had blessed him with over 10,000 ahadith which he memorized by heart. How many? 10,000 ahadith. 10,000 ahadith usne, with the chain of narrations. These aimma, these ahadith which the memorize. They didn't just memorize the text of the hadith. They would memorize who he was narrated from and then who this person narrated it from up to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. 10,000 hadith he memorized by heart. He was one of the golden students of Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayhi. Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal rahmatullah alayhi. He also studied under Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayhi. When Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal ilm, fame and popularity was at its peak, when his name was being mentioned with reverence throughout the Islamic world, a person observed him walking with kitab clung to his chest, holding it tight, and an ink pot in his left hand. The observer commented, "O Abu Abdullah, you have reached such a high station of ilm. You are the Imam al-Muslimin, the Imam of the Muslims, yet you still going for further studies, you're still going to learn ilm and knowledge. You've got, Allah Ta'ala has given you so much knowledge, you have memorized so many ahadith by heart and you are known as the Imam al-Muslimin, but you're still going to learn from someone else." The Imam replied, with ink pot to the grave. What did he say? With ink pot to the grave, that I'm going to be a student till the day I die, till the grave. So this is the devotion that he had and dedication that he had for seeking ilm, knowledge. Today we say, how much have you earned? You have to keep an earning. Have to keep an earning till I pass away, taaki mere bacche ke theek ho jaye or everything happens. But never do we think with regards to ilm and knowledge. These great personalities of Islam, they would think with regards to deen and knowledge for the akhirah, that till the grave we have to keep it trying. No matter how perfect we become at it, or no matter how much you have learned, you have to keep on striving towards it. His character, an associate of the Imam narrates, the respected Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal conferred to the poor, and I have not observed elsewhere. He always inclined towards the needy. He always made company. He was, close to the poor people. Displayed aloofness towards the affluent. He was the model of dignity, forbearance, calmness, humility, wisdom. All these noble qualities radiated from his face. When he sat for his dars majlis after Asr, until somebody questioned, he maintained silent. So he didn't think that I'm the big one, I'm the one with the knowledge. He would always keep quiet. Only when someone would ask him, then he would say, look, this was his tawadu, his humbleness, his character. So these are some of the A'immah which we have done. We have done with regards to Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah alayhi, Imam Malik rahmatullah alayhi, Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayhi, Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal rahmatullah alayhi. These are all great personalities of Islam. We should, have this inside ourselves, that we try and read about these great personalities. How did they achieve this ilm and deen and knowledge that we have today with us? Try and pick up the stories of Sahaba radiallahu anhum, study their lives, see what they went through for deen to reach to us today. Read the seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Try and bring this into our life. We will appreciate when we read the lives of these personalities, that how deen has reached us today. Otherwise, who knows where we would have been. So to appreciate these kind of personalities, we should read about their lives. We should try and inculcate the character, the akhlaq, the stories of the Sahaba, the seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so that it can become part and parcel of our lives. Because today we have lost, we have mixed up our, we look at all other personalities besides our real personalities who were there. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give me the tawfiq and give us all the tawfiq. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.